Welcome back to Timmy Talks Finance. Let's talk about CRO, Cronos, and also all of the small altcoins in the crypto space. So now Cronos is its own thing, just like all the other altcoins, but they are similar in a certain way. And that is that they trade and they are waiting for liquidity from the same place. So generally, Bitcoin moves first, and then the large caps, and then the small caps, and people go further down the risk curve. Generally, that's what happens. And since they all kind of follow that flow, your altcoin is probably going to perform near the same time as Cronos. But I want to look at Cronos specifically because that's personally what I like and hold. So now, just like your small altcoin, the returns have been disappointing, but it's to be expected because the small altcoins, they pump very fast, but in return for that, they pump for a much shorter amount of time, and you have to wait for a much longer time than Bitcoin. Bitcoin in general, it trends higher, and the drawdowns are not as bad, but its moves percentage-wise in short amount of time is never as much as a small altcoin like Cronos. So looking at Cronos, you can see that we've been coming in at these higher lows, okay? And we've had these big fake out rallies. But you know, these rallies are good because they show that there's life in the coin. There's fuel in the rocket. It's just waiting for the right spark. And that's what these moments teach you. Now, I do expect another move up. So the next resistance is somewhere around 40 cents. And I expect this rally to be in the next 2 months or so. Could be, a couple more weeks or less. But I expect the next move to be about 40 cents. And the reason for that is because that's the resistance. So if you're looking at a different coin, you're going to be wanting to look at what is the resistance for that coin, and that's probably where your coin will hit. So for Cronos, that's about a 4x from here. For your coin, it might be a 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x, depending on the situation. Okay, but they're pretty much going to move at the same time. All alts wait for alt season, and all small altcoins wait for small altcoin season, which is even more rare than in the general alt season. But it does come, and it's makes these coins move up very fast. So after we get to 40 cents, now this could be higher depending on the news. So if Cronos comes out with some amazing news or amazing partnership during the time that it's hitting this target, or it's been moving up in this very fast move, it could come up to maybe 60 cents. Okay, but what I expect there after, okay, the next move after that is going to come not down to this green bear market trend line. I expect it to come somewhere at this resistance and turn that into support, or somewhere a little bit higher, and maybe it'll come closer, somewhere like 25 cents. It's hard to say where the next bottom is going to be, but I would not be selling here at 40 or 60 cents and say, oh, I'm definitely not going to buy in until it hits this green line again. I really highly doubt it comes to this green line anytime soon. Maybe over the next bear market it'll touch this line, but we'll have to see what the market looks like by then. So after it hits 40 cents to 60 cents, somewhere in that range, and then comes back down, okay, now we're going to be hitting the final blow-off phase. So that's probably going to take CRO to, now the previous all-time high was about $1. Now $1 is not that big of a target if it hits 60 cents, okay, because a double from 60 cents would be $1.20. So let's call it 50 cents. A 4x from 50 cents would be $2. So I could see somewhere between $1 and $2 would be the final top. And now remember to take profits once we get to these points. CRO moves up very fast. It has a lot of news, and it makes you want to not sell it. But just know when we get to this 40-60 cent range, you want to take off some risk. You can still keep holding it. That's fine. You can hold it down to the next drawdown and wait to sell the next rip up to above $1. But definitely be careful with leverage around here. Don't overexpose yourself once we get up to this range. Don't start buying on using margin once you get up to this range. Okay, this is the time to take risk off. Or if you're just holding spot, then that's fine. So that's what I'm looking at for CRO. Now, specifically, let's talk about the fundamentals of CRO. And every coin has its own fundamentals, but the narrative is going to be similar, okay? And you can pretty much apply this to a lot of the altcoins. So a lot of altcoins the fundamentals are getting better. And in CRO's case, the fundamentals can't be more obvious. The exchange is growing, they're adding stocks, and they're going to have options, and they have sports betting, and they're just doing more, and they're building more, and you can just see Crypto.com keeps posting about all their additions and how much they grow and all their new goals, and they keep hitting those goals, and they keep doing well, and then people look at CRO coin and they're like, I'm getting scammed. CRO is 10 cents, and the exchange has done so well. So basically it went from $1 to, what was the low here? 5 cents. Okay, while at the same time the exchange has done phenomenally. They have more users than ever before, and people say, I must be getting scammed because my coin should follow the fundamentals. Okay, that's true. It should follow the fundamentals in theory, but there's a lot of speculation in these coins, and you got to look at it. If the fundamentals increase 10%, that doesn't mean the price is going to increase 10% at the same time. So with all these fundamentals, with the exchange growing, with all these good things happening, just Crypto.com, this is the rocket fuel, okay? Crypto.com is adding rocket fuel to the CRO coin. It doesn't have a spark. It's not ready to launch. But when it does, okay, it will rocket up to where it should be based on the fundamentals, and then go way past that, okay? And once it goes past that, that's when the coin goes to a very, very high price. Maybe it's $2, maybe it's $1.50, and it becomes way overvalued, and it's got to come back down. But that's the reason why it's not moving. It's because the spark hasn't lit the rocket fuel yet, and when it does, it'll move. But you got to be patient. Whenever you see all this good news about Crypto.com, just know that it will matter at some point. But right now, it doesn't matter for the price. It doesn't have a spark. We're not in alt season. Once alt season comes, and then small altcoin season comes, and all the small caps move, then all that rocket fuel, all the fundamentals for CRO will matter. And that's the same for all the altcoins. So definitely keep holding your altcoins if you have them. Now, you could be timing the market. You could be saying, okay, well, first Ethereum's got to move, first Solana's going to move, so I'm going to hold that first, and then I'm going to switch to the small caps. That's fine. That's fine. But I don't want you to get scared out and say, oh, my God, CRO is not moving, this coin's not moving, that coin's not moving, Solana, Ethereum, all the big caps are moving, only Bitcoin's moving. It will move, okay? If Bitcoin goes to $1 million, you think CRO is going to be 10 cents? Well, it looks like that, right? It looks like that based on the price action that's happened. But there's a catch-up. And when the catch up happens, then you'll forget about it underperforming, because it'll move unbelievably fast because it is a small altcoin. So keep that in mind. If you like what you are seeing, like, follow, and subscribe. And if you want me to look at a specific coin or asset, then post it in the comments.